Second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? And the ayes have it. We're in executive session. We have a little bit longer minute. We'll go through these. The first one is Senate Bill 943. I move that we take up Senate Bill 943. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? And the ayes have it. This is Senator May's bill we heard last week dealing with nuisance properties with out-of-state owners. The sub would add in the city of Independence into the language. Senator Nicola.
Just if you want to talk about it.
Yeah, was there anything you would want to say anything about the new language? Here we go.
Other than saying thank you to Senator May.
Okay. We do have a committee substitute ending in 04C, and I move that we adopt the substitute. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion on the substitute? Seeing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? And the ayes have it. I now move that we vote Senate Bill 943 with Senate committee substitute out of committee do pass. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Alex, please take the roll.
Henderson,
Aye.
Berger,
Aye.
By your vote of 7-0, you have do passed Senate Bill 943. I now move that we take up Senate Bill 995. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? And the ayes appear to have it. This is Senator Gregory's bill we heard a few weeks ago, making the St. Louis Sheriff an appointed position versus an elected position. Any questions? Seeing none. I now move that we vote Senate Bill 995 out of committee do pass. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none. Alex, please take the roll.
Henderson,
Aye.
Berger,
By your vote of 5-2, you have do pass Senate Bill 995. Next up, I move that we take up Senate Bill 986. Do I have a second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. And the ayes appear to have it. This is the bill Senator Brown presented last week dealing with voter registration and election law. We do have a committee substitute ending in 04C, and I move that we adopt the substitute. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion on the substitute? Senator.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm going to be a no on this today. I mean, I've talked to county clerks. A matter of fact, I just talked to a bunch of them in my office. This is going to be very difficult for them to implement. Their tabulators won't count the ballots correctly. They told me this could make their ballot they could have up to 100 different ballots for one election. And I'm just going to be a no at this point in time. I think there are a lot of problems with it, and I know Senator Brown has been really good to work with them, but I'm just not really there. I just can't in good conscience vote for this today because of the way it is, especially after talking to the county clerks just a few minutes ago.
And Senator, to answer some of your questions, I talked at length today on my way up here with Senator Brown. Was actually thinking about not executing it today. Senator Brown assured me that this is not what will come to the floor. He knows there's some issues there, but with the spring break looming, asked me if I would try to get it out of committee. Said he thought he had the votes to get it out of committee today, and that he is going to sit down with them. I think he has several meetings set up this week to try to address these, and assured me he would not bring it to the floor without addressing those issues, just so you know that.
Okay, thank you. And I did, whenever I was reached out to, I said I would not be voting for it without the okay from the county clerk. So I'm still going to be a no today, and hopefully they can get it worked out, and I'm sure they hopefully can, but there's just a lot of issues with it, and I just want to, I guess, kind of make a statement at this point.
No, very much so. I just wanted to tell you about our conversation.
Perfect. Thank you.
Any other discussion? Senator Berger.
Mr. Chair, also I'll be voting no too because of the same reason that Senator Crawford brought up.
So, okay, let's go on here. I now move that we vote Senate Bill 986 with Senate Committee substitute out of committee to pass. Do I have a second? All those in favor of adopting the substitute say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. I now move that we vote Senate Bill 986 with Senate Committee substitute out of committee to pass. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? I think we've had that probably. Alex, please take the roll.
Henderson,
No.
Berger,
No.
Black, Bratton, Crawford,
No.
Nicola, Nuremberg. No. 127 failed.
Okay, the bill at this time failed on a vote of 1 to 6. Okay, let's go on to the next one. I move that we take up Senate Bill 1557. Do I have a second? All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say no. And the ayes have it. This is the bill I testified on last week and is part of Senator Black's 1054. We'll be rolling the two bills together with all of Senator Black's language and a few technical fixes from Mosier's on my part of the bill, just trying, if you remember, that was a part trying to help them get rid of some of that money that they need to. Are there any questions for Senator Black or myself? Seeing none. We do have a committee substitute ending in 03C, and I move that we adopt the substitute. Do I have a second? Is there any discussion on the substitute? All those in favor of adopting the substitute say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. And the ayes have it. I now move that we vote Senate Bill 1557 with Senate Committee substitute out of committee do pass. Do I have a second? Second. Is there any discussion? Seeing none. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Henderson,
Aye.
Berger,
By your vote of 7-0, you have voted do pass Senate Bill 1557.
I lost the heading on this, but it's 1551. This is the bill.
Huh?
This is the bill. The heading just got deleted. So you're on 1551.
Okay, so that's what we're on now. Okay. I move that we take up Senate Bill 1551. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say no. And the ayes have it. This is Senator Black's bill we heard last week dealing with the transient guest tax. Senator Black, is there anything you would like to say?
It hadn't changed since last week, and you guys got to hear about the boyhood home of Walt Disney.
I now move that we vote Senate Bill any questions? Excuse me. I now move that we vote Senate Bill 1551 out of committee do pass. Do I have a second? Is there any discussion? Alex, please take the roll.
Henderson,
Aye.
Berger,
Aye.
Beck, Black, Bratton, Crawford, Nicola, Nuremberg. 7-0.
By your vote of 7-0, you have do pass Senate Bill 1551. And the last one up today. I move that we take up Senate Bill 1342. Do I have a second? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. And the ayes have it. This is Senator Schroer's bill we heard last week dealing with annexation by certain cities. Any questions? Senator Beck.
This only affects St. Charles County, correct?
That is my understanding, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Seeing none, I now move that we vote Senate Bill 1342 out of committee do pass. Do I have a second? Second. Is there any discussion? Alex, please take the roll.
Henderson,
Aye. By your vote of 5-2, you have do pass Senate Bill 1342. I now move we move out of executive session. Do I have a second? And we're out of executive session. Up today, we have a few bills. I think the first one up today is Senator Coleman's.
She had to go to a press conference, so maybe you do one of the two that are here, either Gregory or Nicola.
Let's go to Senator Nicola's Senate Bill 1255. Senator, begin when you're ready.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee. Thank you very much for hearing my bill, Senate Bill 1255 today. For the record, I'm Senator Joe Nicola, representing the Senate District 11, the northeastern corner of Jackson County. This bill is about simplifying food truck licensing in Jackson County. Right now, a food truck operator may already have a county license, but still be required to get separate permits from individual cities within the county. It creates unnecessary red tape, added cost, and confusion for small business owners who are simply trying to serve customers in different parts of Jackson County. So this bill will fix that. Under this legislation, if a mobile food unit or operator is licensed by Jackson County, that county license would be valid in every municipality within the county. Cities would not be able to impose stricter permitting requirements on top of the county license. The bill also makes clear that this does not weaken health or sanitation laws. All food safety and sanitation requirements remain fully in place under current law. The bottom line is this bill is about common sense reform. It cuts duplicative permitting, helps small businesses, and creates a clear, more consistent system for food truck operators and local government alike. If Jackson County already has a licensed food truck, the license should be enough. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and with that, I'd be happy to try to answer any questions you might have.
Any questions for Senator Nicola? Senator Black.
Sir Nicola?
Yes, sir.
This is good. Of course, you don't recognize the things that I think about this licensing stuff in my 19 counties, but sometimes people do stuff I don't like. This is very good. I got one question, though. If somebody wanted to be licensed only in a municipality, that's not a choice. They're going to go to the county, get licensed, because they couldn't choose to be licensed only in Independence. If they were going to serve Independence, they are required to have a Jackson County license anyway, or am I wrong?
That I'm pretty sure you're correct. I have two witnesses behind me, and one is a food truck operator.
That would be the only thing. If
Yeah.
somebody decided I'm only going to do it here and I just want to do a municipality, are they even allowed to do that? My guess is no. They probably have to have the Jackson County to be anywhere, but we'll find out.
Right. Yeah, it was Jackson County and I think Kansas City. Those two health departments, yeah.
Senator Beck.
Thank you. Thank you, Senator. I have one question. You you mentioned when you talked it wouldn't affect food or health safety. So when in line 2 here on page starting on 10, line 10, notwithstanding any provision of law to the contrary, any license or permit issued by a county to a mobile food unit or operator shall be sufficient to allow such mobile food unit or operator to operate in all municipalities within such county. Any permitting requirement imposed by a municipality that is more strict than the permitting requirements imposed by the county shall be null and void. So my question is that just on the licensing part, or is that on the food? And so say a city has a higher health sanitary bar to hit, would that be included in there also? If they have that would be null and void?
I believe that's correct, but I think somebody can answer that a little bit better.
Could you word that a little? I mean,
Yeah.
I understand the one license and I understand all that.
Right.
But I mean, if a municipality has a higher standard.
Right, yeah. One would have a stricter requirements for health.
If we could go the opposite way, like,
Sure,
I
yeah.
mean, it'd be worth a conversation.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions? Seeing none. Anybody here to testify in support, please come forward. If you've got a witness form, make sure you turn that in and proceed when you're ready.
Hello, Chair and Committee. My name is Danielle Dupree, and I'm the Executive Director of the Innovation Center in Independence, Missouri. We are a nonprofit business incubator in the old Independence Regional Hospital. We have 6 commercial kitchens, food manufacturing kitchens, and we also have laboratories. Because of the amount of kitchens we have a large culinary program. We help up to 80 food businesses at any given time in our kitchens. About 80% of the entrepreneurs we see are food business, people who are passionate about starting a food business. And about 80% of them, the goal is a food truck. In Jackson County, we are bleeding food trucks to the state of Kansas. I've worked hand in hand with hundreds of food trucks all through the region, and they're grinding just to make sure that they're staying legally operating and compliant with the health authorities. So this bill is very simple and it's very smart. If Jackson County licensed the food truck, you should be able to go into any parts of the county. In the Jackson County, you have 3 health departments. You have the Independence Health Department, the Kansas City Health Department, and the Jackson County Health Department. Now, they all are going off of the FDA food code. Independence is rumored to have the toughest standards out of the 3. But we feel that $2,500 in permitting fees, 5 health inspections by 3 health departments is very redundant and it's very taxing, especially to a lot of our entrepreneurs who are women, minorities, and veterans. Most food trucks, their average cost of a meal is between $10 and $15. So that's a lot of meals they have to pump out just to be able to go throughout the metro in a legal way. So this bill addresses the health inspection and all the Missouri Food Code stuff. And there's no more, a lot of our clients feel like the government is double dipping, triple dipping with them. On the Kansas side, our food trucks can often just go to the state of Kansas and get 1 food truck permit, 1 health inspection, and they're able to go through the whole state. Now, it's really difficult for a lot of entrepreneurs to understand, hey, one day I can be downtown Kansas City with my food truck, but then I can't go to Raytown right next door and also be legally operating. Let's see. So Missouri's patchwork is very daunting. No one has the same rules. All of the permit licensing are different cost, no matter where you are in the state. Last month, we had a big entrepreneurial support organization convening in Columbia, Missouri. So a lot of people were there from all over the state, from EDCs, other incubators, chambers, and when I brought this bill up, a lot of them came to talk to me after the event because they're feeling these issues throughout the state. Let's see. Also, too, permitting and licensing can take up to a month just to get compliant. Small operators, when they first get started, they don't have a lot of money. And then to tell them if they want to be legally operating just in one county, that's going to cost them $2,500 in fees. A lot of times that's just self-defeating in itself. And because of this, I feel like we're pushing jobs, we're pushing taxpayer dollars, and we're pushing good food across the state line. And also, too, we have FIFA coming. I'm getting lots and lots of emails from food truck operators from all over the country wanting a little piece of the pie, and after they talk to me, they kind of land on maybe going to the Kansas side to try to benefit from FIFA, just because it is a whole lot less complicated for them. Now, everyone goes off the same health code, but the county permits, if the county's doing it, they're already doing everything that the other health departments are doing. Like I said, independents having higher standards, that's kind of just dependent on the health inspector. Some are a little bit more tough than others, but Independence does have a reputation for being a little bit tougher than Jackson County and Kansas City. Until recently, Jackson County has hired some new inspectors, so they're a little bit tough too. But anyway, Senate Bill 1255, it isn't deregulation, it's just making it more efficient. There's no way to quantify like how much business we're losing in the state. I only see what's happening in Kansas City, and the reason this was brought to my attention is one year I had 30 food trucks, and the next year I dropped to 11. And so when I'm calling all these food trucks, why aren't you guys popping up here anymore? They all went to Kansas, all but one of them. So it was very telling. So I've been just trying to get the word out, and I'm appreciative to Joe Nicola for taking on this cause. And we can do it. We can cut the red tape. We can stop the exodus to Kansas, and then we can get ready for the world stage with FIFA. So please vote, do pass, and let's keep our food truck scene growing in Missouri. And I'm happy to take questions.
Okay, the first question, first of all, you're right, this is a new thing. These food trucks are everywhere in all parts of the state and probably all over the country. It's become a new thing. My wife runs the biggest Labor Day picnic in the state, and I never knew it was such a big thing until she started dealing with that. If I get at the bottom of what you're trying to do is say we shouldn't have to, you want to be able to operate a little freer but within the same regulations, without having to worry that if I move my truck a mile down the road, I could actually be out of compliance. Is that pretty much the heart of what you're trying to do?
Sure, and this bill is just tackling one county because we thought that might be a little bit easy, but food truck regulations need to be looked at as a whole, and I do feel that if the state of Missouri is able to take this on, we could be a lot better to mobile food businesses and make it a whole lot easier and a whole lot more affordable.
Any other questions for this witness? Seeing none, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Anybody else to testify in support, please come forward. Turn in your witness form.
Hi, my name is Juhei Yoon. I'm the owner at Go Chu Burger and Sandwich. We serve Korean American fast food. Currently, we have 2 food truck units operating in KC metro area, and I'm happy to represent other food truck operators in KC metro area. On top of all the fees, the wasted resources of time and energy in all parties involved to obtain 3 different licenses just to operate in Jackson County is very redundant. It is a huge barrier to all of us mobile unit operators, especially when we all have just one goal of serving good quality, safe food to our customers in Jackson County. It will be a first step forward for ultimately having one unified health permit for the entire state of Missouri, which will benefit rural areas in Missouri having fun, diverse food scene in underserved area. Before obtaining mobile units, I was in healthcare. I did home health. I was going to rural areas to serve patients, and that's where I got the idea of serving some food, diverse, fun food to these rural areas. That was my original business idea. Now, there are so much barriers just going out, even in rural side of Missouri. I think this Jackson County unifying one permit will be a first step forward to that. And our goal is ultimately just like Kansas Department of Agriculture, where we only need one permit for the entire Kansas. I would like to see that here in Missouri as well. If you have any questions, I would like to answer.
Questions for this witness? Seeing none, thank you very much for being here. Anybody else to testify in support? Seeing none. Anybody in opposition? Seeing none. Anybody for informational purposes? We got one.
You know, Mr. Chairman, I normally don't testify for information, but I like Senator Nicola so much and just step up here on behalf of the city of Kansas City. And as I tried the last 5 minutes to find our food truck ordinance and our permit pricing, I was unsuccessful. So I'm just going to kind of step up here and say I'm quickly researching this and to make sure we don't have an issue with it. But what pops into my mind, if there's a let's say an outbreak of some type of food poisoning that took place within the city limits of Kansas City, I assume those individuals are going to be calling the health department in Kansas City, and I just would want to make sure that people know, hey, if I'm in Jackson County and there's an issue, I need to know which branch of government to call to get help with. So with that, I'll report back to Senator Nicola with my findings, okay?
Any questions for this witness? Seeing none, thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else for informational purposes only? Seeing none, Senator Nicola.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Appreciate it very much.
Next bill up will be Senator Berger, Senate Bill 1466. Senator Berger, begin when you are ready.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair and members of the committee. For the record, Senator Jamie Berger, representing Senate District 27, which is Scott, Cape, Perry, Bollinger, Madison, Iron, and Reynolds County. I'm presenting Senate Bill 1466. It's a Missouri National Veterans Memorial Bill. The Missouri National Veterans Memorial opened in 2019 in Perryville, Missouri. This is in my district, and I'm honored to present this community. And it goes by MNVM. Mission is to pay tribute to the servicemen and women and their families by providing an environment for peaceful reflection. The vision of the memorial is to provide healing and education for veterans through their family and visitors. If anybody hasn't visited the War Memorial in Perryville, you're really missing it. The Vietnam War Memorial replica and all the things they have there is one of the neatest kept, nicest looking places in Missouri. What this bill does, Missouri already provides a fund transfer for the World War Memorial, so this bill just follows that precedence. Authorizes the Veterans Commission to do a fund transfer to Missouri National Veterans Memorial. Transfer would only occur subject to appropriations and only if the funds are available. This would not take any money from any other state projects. It would not take funding from the maintenance or renovation of our veterans' homes or cemeteries. It also authorizes funds for PTSD-related services and mental health services for veterans. And with that, I could take any questions, and there's people behind me that are going to testify on behalf of this also. Thank you.
Senator Berger, I just got to say I've been there several times with my friend Rick Francis, who you're aware of, and seen that wall, and it's pretty breathtaking, and it's pretty amazing what they've done down there in Perryville.
It just, I had no idea until I was being invited, never made it. The first time I went there, I was just in awe of the whole facility. And, that land was all donated by a certain person, and a lot of it was funded initially by him also.
No, they've done a great job.
Yes, they have.
Any other questions for this? Okay, anybody to testify in support, please come forward.
I'll be quick since the Senator has another committee to go to. Chair, members of the committee, Henry Atalamak with the Missouri National Veterans Memorial to go on record as in support of Senator Berger's bill. I don't think I can say it better than he did. We established in 2019, and the memorial itself, it's unprecedented how quickly we're growing. Through our partnership with the state, we've been able to grow to the tune of, $7 million in new memorial sites. We're focusing on PTSD right now and the remembrance of those who have fallen. As Senator Berger said, if you have not had the chance, please come and take a look and visit, and we'd be happy to host you.
Any questions for the witness? Seeing none, thank you. Anybody else to testify in support? Anybody in opposition? Informational purposes. Seeing none. Senator Berger.
Thank you.
And the next bill up today will be Senate Bill 1344. Senator Coleman. Please begin when you're ready.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. Senate Bill 1344 changes the process of how a county, in particular Jefferson County, annexes property before it reaches the ballot. So it adds a county-level review process through a boundary commission to evaluate whether a proposed annexation is fiscally responsible and consistent with the long-term infrastructure and service planning. Cities would still initiate the annexation process, negotiate terms, pass ordinances, and seek voter approval. And even with this county review, the structure of Senate Bill 1344 remains balanced. That still really favors the municipalities. Cities retain the exclusive authority to initiate, to negotiate terms, to pass ordinances, and again, to secure voter registration. What's happening is there was, in Jefferson County, a long-term plan that the county initiated. We have a concern with some of our municipalities are annexing county property without notice to the neighbors. And so one of the things, through a significant amount of public commentary in that master plan, this was a proposal that was brought forward and voted on. As you can imagine, some of the municipalities do not like this idea of having a border commission, in particular those municipalities that are annexing without talking to their neighbors very much and without taking a county-wide approach. The city of Eureka recently has annexed an island. There's a subdivision that was built that has now been annexed into Eureka, and those residents have mixed feelings about that, but so does the county, because that was a significant portion of the tax base. So we want to make sure that as we're growing, Jefferson County and along 55 in particular is really a growing region in the St. Louis area. We want to make sure that that's done responsibly with an eye towards the infrastructure needs of the entire community and done in a responsible way. So this 11-member Boundary Commission is going to be structured as proposed. 5 members from the unincorporated municipalities, 4 are appointed by cities, and 1 by the county executive. 3 members would represent unincorporated areas, also selected by the county executive. 3 members selected by a 4-person panel, evenly split between the county and municipal representatives. So this structure ensures that cities retain strong representation, but that unincorporated residents also have a voice, and that no single level of government is able to determine the outcome. With that, I'm open to any questions.
Any questions for the witness? Seeing none. First person to testify in support, please come forward. Seeing none. Anybody to testify in opposition? Seeing none. Anybody for informational purposes? Senator?
I know, these things happen to the best of us. I'm not quite sure why people have chosen not to come and engage on this bill. I will tell you that it was brought to me by our electeds in Jefferson County at the county level. It's part of the master plan, and I'd appreciate your support moving forward. Thank you.
That precludes our hearing on Senate Bill 1344. Next up will be Senate Bill 1286. Senator Brown.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, for the opportunity to present Senate Bill 1286. Senate Bill 1286 is about creating clarity and consistency in our regulatory framework. It also aims to remove unnecessary barriers that are preventing us from addressing shortages in housing and affordability. It does this by creating a clear 30-day deadline for local governments to approve or deny an application for a building permit. If the government fails to meet that deadline, then the application would be approved. Recent data shows that Missouri is not building enough homes to keep up with demand. Permit-to-population ratio is only 0.67. This means that the number of homes being built in our state is well below the national average. Missouri accounted for just 1.2% of the nation's housing permits in 2024, despite making up 1.8% of the population. That gap matters, and is why Missouri needs this bill. When housing supply falls behind demand, prices increase and opportunities are diminished for families seeking to buy a new home. Enforceable permitting deadlines can help address this problem because they create predictability for development and help control costs caused by delays. This bill does 2 major things. First, it creates a deadline for permit decisions. Second, it establishes a way to enforce that deadline. The bill doesn't weaken safety standards or eliminate local authority. It simply ensures that residential building permits are reviewed promptly with transparency and fairness. It replaces open-ended review timelines with firm standards. Under SB 1286, any permit application for construction of a new property or repair or renovation of an existing one must either be approved or denied within 30 days. The goal is to address the epidemic of seemingly infinite administrative delays, not technical reviews. Under this bill, incomplete applications can still be denied and resubmitted, and local governments can still enforce building codes and safety standards. This bill also prevents moving goalposts in the review process. So if an application is denied, local governments must identify all issues up front rather than introducing new reasons for denial in later reviews. More than 15 states have passed reforms at the state level to help streamline local permitting, including Florida, Texas, Tennessee, Virginia, Washington, Wisconsin, Vermont, Rhode Island, New Jersey, Montana, North Carolina, Minnesota, Arizona, California, Pennsylvania, and Arkansas. Metro areas in these states, particularly Florida, Texas, and Arizona, have seen building permits at a level much higher than the national average at 6 permits per 1,000 people. Missouri should learn from the success of these policies and follow suit. I urge the committee to advance this bill and bring greater clarity and transparency to our permitting process, reduce costly delays, and help increase the amount of affordable housing available for Missouri families. Thank you, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Senator, proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Senator, just a quick question. I kind of glanced through it. I haven't read the bill thoroughly, but I did glance through it. Is there anything in here, or do you think there should be anything in here, if there's not, to account for like catastrophes, like St. Louis is still being cleaned up and all that? Just like where they would get bombarded with a bunch of permits. Did other states take that into consideration? Was just kind of thinking about that when you were giving your presentation.
You know, that's a very excellent question. I'm not aware of that, but that is a very good point, and certainly something that
might be something to look at.
Yeah.
Under normal circumstances, probably not, but in something like that, when so many houses may be trying to be built at one time, it could cause a problem. Instead of fixing it, it may cause a bigger problem.
Yeah, thank you for that. I think
Sure.
that's an excellent point.
Thanks.
Any other questions? Seeing none. Anybody to testify in support, please come forward.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. James Harris, registered lobbyist representing FGA Action, testifying support. We think this is a good common sense way to kind of speed things up, for individuals building homes, small businesses, etc. Last year in our House hearing, there was a lot of comments about over in the Kansas City area where this is a little more of a problem depending what part of Kansas City you were in. And it seemed to go quicker on the Kansas side of the line. And I think there's probably other parts of the state where this can come up as a problem from time to time. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? Seeing none, thank you. Anybody else to testify in support? Make sure you turn in a witness form and begin when you're ready.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. My name is Colleen Lindgren, and I'm a Senior State Policy Manager for the Pacific Legal Foundation. And we're a nonprofit public interest law firm that represents clients in a variety of constitutional cases. For 50 years, we've been litigating property rights cases, and we're very supportive of reforms like this. We've had 18 wins at the U.S. Supreme Court, mostly related to property rights. And so we're really grateful for your consideration of Senate Bill 1268 and to the Senator for bringing this bill. And since we're talking about timelines and simplicity, I'm not going to belabor the points that he made, which are many of those same ones that I would have hit. But I do think this is a simple bill that's going to have a significant impact for folks, because we know that in permitting and in building or even remodeling, time there's a lot of cost, but time is also its own cost, and this really helps with that. So this bill is a great solution to some of the delays that make it harder to build, to provide housing, to update your own housing. And it also respects local considerations and needs while establishing firm guidelines. And so this is a great way that the state and localities can work together toward fundamental fairness in permitting. And when individuals are deprived of their use of property, even if 30 days doesn't seem like a long time, again, it is a long time, and their Fifth Amendment rights are being violated. And so this policy protects against that problem while addressing housing shortages, promoting affordability by reducing delays that increase the cost of housing and remodeling. And we believe that permitting laws without meaningful timelines not only deprive property owners of their rights, but they contribute to high costs and fewer options ultimately, and they also disincentivize investment in communities or even investing in updating your own home. And so we think this is a great common sense reform. We urge your support. And I think to the question about an emergency provision, I think you could potentially address that by having a clause that looks at like an official declared emergency. So something that's, beneficially declared as unfortunately the state has experienced in recent years, and clearly defining what that is. There are already definitions for things like that in law, and you could potentially address that through an emergency provision that refers to those standards to address that concern. So with that, I'd be happy to take any questions.
Any questions? Seeing none, thank you. Anybody else to testify in support, please come forward.
Thank you. Camelia Peterson with Americans for Prosperity. I won't repeat everything that's already been said, but I will say that permitting reform across several industries has become a major priority for Americans for Prosperity at both the federal level and at the state level, because I think we all see how it affects us economically and in the growth of our communities. And so we think that having this kind of reform in place will be really beneficial to Missourians in not only living their lives and doing business, but in being able to contribute to the economy as a whole.
Questions? Seeing none, thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else to testify in support?
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, Alex Eaton testifying today on behalf of Responsive Government Action would like to go on record in support of Senate Bill 1286. Happy to take any questions, but the sponsor and others did a good job. It just streamlines and creates transparency.
Any questions? Seeing none, thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else to testify in support? Seeing none, anybody to testify in opposition?
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. My name is Richard Sheets. I'm with the Missouri Municipal League, and we do have some concerns about Senate Bill 1286. Some of the clarity and some of the procedural that's in the bill. In the clarity site, the way the definitions of the request, it appears to us that it could apply to the zoning request, because it talks about prior approval before you can issue permits, and many times zoning comes into that, getting zoning permits. So I think that's clearly not the intent from just talking with other folks and working on this bill in the House, but I think definitions are some concerns. Also, there's different levels of permits. There's permits for small renovation program, small residential renovations, which may not take a long permitting time, but there's, very detailed and commercial and residential projects that take a lot of coordination with utilities, with fire departments. So sometimes many times those approval processes take a little longer. So having the same rigid 30-day for every project seems to be a little not onerous in some situations, maybe needs to be expanded in other situations. So clarifying those deadlines would be helpful to everyone. Also, it's my understanding that the purpose of this bill is not to stop the inspections or eliminate the health inspections or public safety inspections, but just to get the project started. And it's not clear in the bill that's what it means. It sounds like it's the building permit, and if it's a building permit, just to allow the developer or homeowner to get the project started, to hire the contractor, to get engineering studies, I understand that. But issuing the permit, and that's That's it. And it's pretty rigid. I think it should be for the permits to get the project started and giving the homeowner or the developer the ability to start the project and start doing the other work with contractors and getting other approvals. I'll try to answer any questions if I can.
Any questions? Seeing none, thank you very much. Anybody else to testify in opposition, please come forward.
Mr. Chairman, committee members, my name is Pat Kelly with the Municipal League of Metro St. Louis. Just want to go on record in opposition to Senate Bill 1286. Just to go a little bit further as to what Mr. Sheets was saying, as an example, if the city has to issue the permit and yet the developer or the builder has to still comply with all the building codes, and let's say there was a mistake in the plans for the foundation and building the house, well, this could end up costing the developer a lot more money when they have to take out a foundation and build it to code because it wasn't caught in the permitting process. So just as an example, we have concerns with that, but I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Senator Beck.
Yeah, just to be clear, I mean, when they build something, not just a house, you know, like a pre-manufactured house would be a different story, but we're looking at this would, I guess, incorporate data centers or environmental studies. This would incorporate all that to happen within the 30-day period. All your engineering, all your architectural drawings would all have to be done, the way I read it, would all have to be done. I mean, I don't know how that plays out, how you would inspect all that, especially the manpower just to look through all that, because a lot of times these folks in planning and zoning are the same people that look at different aspects of it, but the fire, the safety, and all the other things. I really don't know how you would be able to do this. And I should have asked all the other folks that were in favor of this where they were from. If they were from Missouri or were they representing groups from Missouri. I didn't. I normally do that. I normally do that with Mr. Harris back there as he's smiling. But I have a suspicion that none of them represented anybody from Missouri, so that always makes me cautious about some of these things. But I just, in a 30-day period, I think that's asking a lot. I mean, you know, I've been in construction. And there's a whole lot to it, and there's a whole lot of changes that happen. There's a whole lot of times when things get stopped. But you're saying that none of this could happen, you know? I mean, that would be crazy, and on many different levels. That's just my take on it. So, sorry, it wasn't a question, but I answer the question. I mean, you know, there's a lot of things that would have to happen in that 30-day period.
I think that's our concern as well. Thank you.
I've got one question. I don't build houses. This isn't probably my expertise. But would wastewater and stormwater, because in a lot of the rural areas especially, that's getting to be more and more of an issue. Is that one of the things like what you're talking about, is they get the permit and then you get into this and see how some of that works? Because with some of the neighbors and some of the things that go on, is that part of kind of what you're talking about? Issues such as that?
As in St. Louis County, with the development, sure, the runoff and all those kinds of things are part of that plan. So, and if they're not fully vetted before they get their permits, that could be a problem later.
You know, I just brought that up because we're having it in some of the rural areas. We just had one where I think they got 5 inches of rain last week and they had to evacuate people actually because of the wastewater runoff there in Park Hills, Missouri. So it's becomes an issue. Any other questions? Seeing none, thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else in opposition?
Mr. Chairman, Shannon Cooper, once again representing the city of Kansas City, and maybe just point out there's a huge difference when we do a permit for a residential addition, and then you compare that to building something like the T-Mobile Center or possibly a new downtown baseball arenas. So, you know, 30 days might be great for a small project, but when you have a large, complex project squeezed down into the middle of a major metropolitan area, it's just for us to do our due diligence and have buy-in from everybody that participates in this. And I mean, our end goal is to make sure that we have a successful, safe project when we're done, and rushing through in this time period just does not serve everybody well. So, and again, Senator Beck, I'm from Missouri. I come here all the time, and I didn't get on an airplane today to get here. So anyway, be happy to answer any questions, Mr. Chairman.
Did you just say we're going to have a downtown baseball stadium?
I was just hinting at the complexity of some of the projects we do in the Kansas City region.
Any other questions for this witness? Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
Anybody else in opposition? Anybody for informational purposes only? Seeing none. Senator Brown.
I'd just like to say that some good points were made, and I'd welcome anyone that, even Senator Beck, he has the building experience, and some of the people that had concerns, because I would like to also understand more the intricacies of the different projects. Maybe we need some kind of tiered, structured system where different projects fall under different timelines, perhaps, and open to suggestions and welcome any conversations.
With all business being concluded for the committee, I make a motion that we adjourn.